More people will die of an overdose of fentanyl than of COVID this year in the United States. Did you know that 200 people every day in the United States are dying of a fentanyl overdose? Did you know that the Mexican cartel is targeting your children, our children, here in America?
And do you want to make sure that your loved one does not die from a fentanyl overdose? Well, I want you today to watch this video all the way through. We're going to explain to you what is fentanyl, where it comes from, and why it is so dangerous. So stay with us as we teach you about fentanyl. So let's go ahead and get started. What is fentanyl? Well, fentanyl is a synthetic opiate. It was invented in Belgium in the 1960s, and it's often used as a patch to treat severe pain. As a synthetic opiate, fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin. It's 100 times stronger than morphine.
Today, it is created in an underground laboratories in Mexico. It is disguised as Oxys 30s, and it's smuggled across the border from Mexico to the United States.
So one of the questions you might have is, how does it get to our streets?
Yeah, it's a liquid formed and manufactured in China, and then it is transported to Mexico.
And once it gets to Mexico, they bring it to these underground labs, and they make that liquid form into a paste. Now bear in mind that it's not regulated, it's not closely evaluated. That paste or that powder is stamped into pills, and they make those pills look identical to Oxycontin.
And then it's smuggled across the Mexican-U.S. border, and it's distributed in the United States.
When it reaches the streets of the United States, it can be sold as little as $2 a pill.
Which is very low.
Yeah, and you might say, how can it be sold so cheaply? Well, fentanyl is different than, say, heroin. Heroin, you need land, you need sun to grow poppies. Cocaine the same way.
Right.
You need land, you need sun, you need water.
And you need people to harvest it.
Harvest it.
Yeah.
But fentanyl is created in a lab. And that's why it can be done so cheaply, and that's why it can be sold on our streets at such a low price.
Yeah.
So another question that we would ask is, why is fentanyl so dangerous?
Fentanyl is being disguised as Oxycontin, and consumers are not aware.
Yeah, if you look at the picture, you can see authentic Oxycontin, and then you could see the fake fentanyl. It looks identically the same.
It's a fake Oxy, but it's fentanyl.
Yes.
Right.
So it's disguised. It's disguised as
disguised.
Oxy. Because people are buying Oxycontin on the streets all the time.
Because they can't get it anymore because they shut down all the pain clinics.
Yeah, and so they do that, and then they think they're buying Oxycontin, but what it really is fentanyl.
Yeah. Fentanyl is being laced and added to marijuana, to cocaine, and to other drugs.
Yeah, so a person can buy marijuana, smoke a joint, and die from an overdose of fentanyl.
True.
A person could be buying cocaine off the streets, snorting the cocaine, taking it however, and dying from a fentanyl overdose.
And it only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl that is lethal. That's equal to 10 to 15 grains of table salt. We're talking about table salt. 1, 2, 3. You count out 10 little grains, and that is a lethal dose.
Yeah, that's just extraordinary to think
Yeah.
about. When you're mixing the fentanyl, making the pills, if they get more than 10 to 15 grains of fentanyl in that particular pill, and that pill's ingested by a person, that they will die.
Yeah. Unbelievable. The latest cartel strategy is rainbow Fentanyl.
And if you see the picture, it's very bright colored, it's very appealing to the eye, and they're actually beginning to target children and adolescents.
Yeah, because it looks like candy.
It looks like candy.
It looks like Skittles.
Yeah, so that's the latest strategy of the cartel, and they're just finding that this rainbow fentanyl is coming across the borders, and they're finding it in the city streets today. These fentanyl pills, whether it's rainbow or whether it's the ones that look like Oxycontin, they're made in unregulated labs in Mexico. So I want you to get the picture. One pill can make you high, but the next pill from the same batch could kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happening on our city streets.
200 people are dying a day in the United States of overdoses. The majority of those are from fentanyl.
Yeah, another interesting statistic is San Francisco, that had a huge hit of the COVID epidemic. In that period of time that COVID was so high, more people in San Francisco died from fentanyl overdose than they did from COVID.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
It's a lot of deaths. I mean, this is a war.
Yeah, it's a undercurrent devastation epidemic that has invaded our country.
Yes.
And there's some awareness about it, but we need to create more awareness.
Yes.
So one of the questions is, what can you do to help? Well, the first thing you need to do is educate yourself.
Yes.
Watch videos like this, get the facts, understand what you're dealing with, see how the different forms are coming through in the United States, and really learn what fentanyl is. If you want to go into a deeper dive and understand it at a deeper level than we have time to go with you now, I want you to get this book by Ben Westhoff. It's named Fentanyl Inc., and it's really an in-depth study of what fentanyl is. We have a link in the description for you, and you can get that to really continue your education process.
And teach your children and your young adults about this. Don't be afraid to talk about this. You could have a child that is just the most bright, loving, kind, even like a nerd child. But you don't know if somebody gives them something, they're pressuring them, whatever. You want them to be aware. Why not to take this?
Yeah.
Why not to take anything? Because any drug out there could be laced with this right now. I know that they had a bus in California, and there was enough fentanyl to kill every single person in America. 1 pill per person. There was enough there in that one bus. That's a lot.
It's a lot of fentanyl. The other thing you can do that we're actually charging you to do,
yes, we are,
is that we need you to contact your political leaders.
We need you to do this.
And create an urgency. The more people we have contacting our political leaders, the more they will act. Right. We actually have in the description, I have a form email that you can copy and paste. It says this: fentanyl will kill 200 people in the United States today. It's time for you as a leader to deal with this crisis that is killing our children, friends, family, and destroying our communities. More people will die from fentanyl overdose this year than from COVID. Will you help us deal with this opiate epidemic? Will you make it a priority and begin finding solutions?
That's excellent, honey. That's good.
Yeah. So what we want you to do is to go to the description, copy and paste that, and we want you to send it today to at least 3 leaders.
Yes.
You can find your state congressman, you can find your federal congressman, the U.S. congressman. You can send it to your mayor, you can send it to your councilman, you can send it to the president of your county or parish, or whatever it is. We want you to make a commitment, think strategically, and send this to 3 leaders today. You can make it your own. Use my form or make it your own. But we need to deal with this crisis that is destroying so many people in our country today.
Yes, because this has it's not red, it's not blue, it's not purple. It's our human beings that are dying. It's our fathers, our mothers, our sisters, our nieces, our nephews. our friends. So don't play with this. Do something. Be proactive. Send it. And we also want to say that if you've lost a loved one to fentanyl, we want you to know that you are in our prayers, that we are daily praying for people that are suffering from this and for people that have lost loved ones.
Yeah, we've unfortunately or fortunately been able to walk with people who have lost loved ones due to opiate overdose, fentanyl overdose. And some of the saddest stories are there of individuals whose children had bright futures. Some of them used drugs, some of them didn't really use drugs much at all, that were just experimenting, but they came across the wrong batch and it ended up killing them. So take this with the seriousness that it deserves. This is a silent epidemic that has invaded our country, and we need you to stand up and to do your part. We'd also like to tell you that if you are involved with someone that's suffering from an addiction or drug abuse or substance abuse, we have a video that's Do You Want to Help an Addict?
Yeah.
And we have 3 recommendations in this video that you can do that will help you help the one that needs help. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you
in the next video.
God bless.
God bless.